Gotcha. Luxury living, we know the way to make you feel like a million. Opening doors, we take you to higher ceilings. Treviso gives you the keys and new.
Good morning, Steve Zalunardo here with Treviso Realty. We're on the election eve's day here. Just to give you a quick update on the inventory, we're at 18,642 units in all of Southwest Florida. So we're down about 10% since last week. And then if you look at the amount of sales, we're actually up 30% more sales in Southwest Florida in the last 7 days than we were a week prior, which is great. And then if we kind of move that down into Estero, bring it down to a micro level, 674 units available. So inventory did go up about 100 units. So again, that's probably another 15 to 18% in units. But sales did go up about 8%, so a little bit slower than the rest of Southwest Florida, but still up there. I want to break it down a little further between single-family dwellings and condos. And condos is obviously multi-story buildings versus a single-family dwelling, which would stand as a villa, attached homes, or a single-family dwelling. So if we bring it to Southwest Florida, 30% of that 18,642 units is going to be condos. So 55 units or 100 units are condos. Then bring that to Estero, we have 37% are condos versus single-family dwellings. So it's a big chunk of inventory that we don't talk about because a lot of even our clients that are coming down are not specifically looking for condominiums. They're more looking for a single-family dwelling or a townhome or a villa, something like that they can have in a gated community. So that's why I want to break that down a little further. Exciting news! Obviously, we've did our first raffle for the Everblades hockey game last week. So one of the Verdana residents couldn't make it, so we'll get them up on the next game. And then we drew it out again, and we have another contestant that won. We've already contacted them, and we'll drop it off, which is kind of exciting. Yeah, a few things. We had a comment just come in on one of our videos. We did a little spoof on Tim Walz's video, we did a spoof video on Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota. So this was a nice comment that came in. He says, "Wow, we bought in Ole 4 years ago, just before the Walz riots. Relocated to Verdana Village last spring and love it. Travel from our Minnesota house several times per year to enjoy Estero, Naples area. Walz is awful, but we don't have enough voters in rural Minnesota to remove him from the DFL scoundrels." This is obviously looking forward to becoming a Florida resident soon. Your videos are very informative. We chose the Somerville 2 model at Verdana. You did a great job. Great video tour of the model home. That's awesome, buddy. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos and also the walkthrough tour of the Somerville. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then going forward, we're starting to see obviously influx of snowbirds coming in. You're starting to see the inventory just shed right out, and even with the builder incentives, even though there's still pretty much it's weird how they do the incentives because they always end up at the same number. It's a weird thing where they'll move around incentives, they'll move around base prices, they'll move around the home site. So they have like three metrics that they'll use to kind of bring these prices down to pretty much, if you break it all down, what you're paying for at the end, net bottom line is always the same amount. So before, when we moved in 2022, like we live on Killington, so our court our lot rather, our home site is a half acre, so pretty big lot on a court. That was listed when I was just prior to me buying was almost $400,000. I think it was at $399 or something insane. We didn't pay that clearly, but then you start to see those prices starting to come down. And even on Parksville, those lots were listed at about $200,000. Then you were able to get them down to about $115, $120. And now we're selling water lots between $40 and $50 grand. Not so much that Long Lake. Obviously, it's different times too. But $30,000 to $50,000 we're selling lake lots. But then incentives came down. There used to be 150, now it's 100, then it's like 50 on some units. Then you're looking at the base prices of the houses now have come down, but they started increasing another level, maybe more on the options level. So you're always at around the same amount. Like we're trying to get a Mystique model together right now. It's just prices are always at that same amount. Clearly what we do as your representatives, as realtors, is, or your third-party representative, your consultant rather, is we go in and negotiate the best deal possible for you and get it down. And then at some point, it's not worth it for the builder to kind of unload the property. So they'll hold it as a spec lot because they know things are going to sell. Like tomorrow's the election. If everything goes in the Republican new administration, you're going to see obviously this market's going to take fire even further. But I still think it'll take fire even further if it goes on the left too, because I was mentioning this to a gentleman that if especially like more of these Democratic states that have all migrated into state of Florida, if this goes into like more of a liberal government again into their states, becomes more liberal than what it is right now, you're going to see a big influx of business into the state of Florida. So I think either way of this election, it's going to be good for Florida no matter what. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions on real estate, need help buying, selling, even if you're looking at new construction, clearly we help out clients from out of state, out of country. We're obviously here to help out and get you guys the best deal possible. Have a great day. Bye.
Show you what you've been missing. Treviso Realty. From city streets to ocean views, Treviso does it all for you. Treviso Realty.
Treviso Realty, opening doors to luxury living.